My name is Beth Mack. I feel like my story starts pretty young. I can remember as early as the age of 6 feeling like I didn't really belong in this world and feeling always on the outside. I never felt like I had friends or people that poured into me growing up. I feel like I was always felt like I wasn't good enough and that I was constantly trying to fit in and to be enough and to be what everyone wanted me to be. And so with having those feelings growing up, um, they kind of compounded on each other and created this kind of darkness inside that I started feeling pretty strongly when I was a teenager. And my inner dialogue became really unhealthy. So the things that I would say to myself is, you're fat, you're ugly, you're not good enough, you are not worthy to be loved, you shouldn't be here. And as my life would progress and things would happen in my life, I've experienced rape, I've experienced domestic violence. And as those things would happen, those voices, that darkness, that ugliness inside got bigger and bigger. And after I had my children, I feel like although it was a beautiful thing to have kids, the darkness inside got bigger and got deeper. And I don't think that it's talked about enough about postpartum depression and how it feels after you have a child and your body doesn't feel your own and your mind is consumed with so many things that I feel like we don't talk about it enough, that we need to take care of mom while she's taking care of baby and kids and all the things. And so although I absolutely adore my children, having children made that dark, deep hole even bigger. So in 2011, my kids were 2, 5, and 7 at the time. And I just got to a really bad place where I felt bad enough to go to a doctor. And I told the doctor, I'm having a hard time getting out of bed. I'm having a hard time functioning. I'm having a hard time doing all the things you're supposed to do as an adult. Go to work, take care of my kids. At the time I was married and I didn't feel I had a lot of support there. And so I went to the doctor. I didn't have insurance at the time. So he said, what I could do for you is give you this medication, but because you don't have insurance, I'm going to give you a 3-month supply. So just take this home. And if you feel like, you want to take these meds, this will help you with some depression. And so I didn't really think I wanted to be on meds. It was something that I was afraid of. So I put it in my cabinet, shut the door, and didn't think of them again. A week later, I had come home from work and I had caught my spouse cheating on me. And that kind of, I already had things going on negative inside myself, inside my head, inside my body. But that just kind of escalated my self-worth or my lack of self-worth. And so I called my mom and said, please come pick up the kids because I'm not doing well. So she picked up my kids. They were 2, 5, and 7 at the time. And my spouse said he was leaving me. And so he had left the house, which I thought he was gone forever. And so I took the whole 3-month supply, 180 pills, and I decided that it was my time to not be here anymore. So I laid on my couch. I didn't write a suicide note. I didn't For me, I just felt that the world would be better off without me. My self-worth was already low, and in that moment, I just didn't feel like I was worth anything. So I laid on my couch, and the next thing I remembered was kind of being outside of my body, looking down at the paramedics resuscitating me. I was rushed to the hospital, and 3 days later, I woke up. My stomach had been pumped, and I had almost died. And I will say that I'm grateful. This was the bottom that changed my life. It was the hardest and best thing that happened for me. I spent 2 months in the mental hospital, which was horrible, but also wonderful in the best way, because there were so many things I had never told anybody. There was so much darkness in me that I had never shared, that I never put out there. And so this gave me a platform to not have to take care of anybody, not have to do anything, but just be. That's where I started therapy for the first time. I was originally diagnosed bipolar. I was put on medication. I was on a medication journey for 7 years, and they never found the right fit for me. My parents kept my kids for a year, and it was hard, but also good for my kids. I still got to see them, but not as often as we would have liked. But I really needed that time, and I'm very grateful for my parents. My suicide attempt changed a lot of things for me. It started a divorce that needed to happen. I got let go of from my job, and I completely understand. I had family members who no longer wanted to talk to me anymore. I had friends who no longer wanted to talk to me anymore. My circle became very small. After 7 years, I was starting to feel the side effects of being on high doses of lithium, and my body just had my gallbladder taken out, my liver was being affected, and I just got to the point where I had to say I can't do this anymore. So under the guidance of my doctor, I did come off of all medication. So I really started just deep diving into therapy, into the things that made me feel unworthy, unloved, the abuse I had gone through, the things that I felt. That for me was the answer. Trauma can show up in your life in all different ways, and it can present like a lot of different things. And for me, the trauma that I had gone through in my life created those black holes and created that darkness. So when I started going to therapy, talking, taking classes, healing, I not only healed myself, but I healed me as a mother. I healed me as a daughter. I healed me as a sister. I can show up in a way that is so healthy now. The love I have for myself has changed. The things I'll accept in my life has changed. The relationship I have with my kids have changed. So many things have benefited from me healing that brokenness. And that is so valuable to me. I'm so grateful that I did not succeed 15 years ago, because I would have missed out on so much, and so much would have missed out on me. And so I sit here today looking back on an amazing life that I didn't think I would ever have. And I'm just so grateful. I feel like when I am my genuine, authentic self, I have a big personality, but in the best way. I have a great sense of humor and I love to joke around and be playful, but I also can be super serious and just have a heart to help people. And I will tell you that it's never too late, that it's never too late to wake up and say, I don't want to do this anymore. I want help. I want to show up for myself better, for my family better, for my kids better. It's never too late for that. And as much as I have hurt my kids, I also know my kids love me. You know, I have apologized for the things that I've done, but bigger than apology is I've shown them. And I would say anyone who's going through this, give yourself grace. Allow yourself to feel that it's okay. You have to forgive yourself first. You have to allow yourself to change, and you deserve to be loved in such a beautiful way, and it starts with you. I didn't love myself for a long time. When I looked in the mirror, I hated who I saw. And now I can look in the mirror and see a beautiful, smart, I'm fantastic. And I tell myself that every single day. And I don't mean that in an arrogant way. I mean that in the most beautiful way, because we all have so much uniqueness that we bring to this world. None of us are the same. We all have different gifts. And when we shrink ourselves or remove ourselves, we're hurting the world. When I was in Cedar Springs, one of the number one things that I did was color. And it just is a way for me to de-stress and not think about things and just get stuff out. So art has always been a thing for me. This first piece I created to represent how it feels to be in that dark, deep depression. It depicts a woman being trapped inside her own brain. And for me, that's what I feel depression has been, is an isolation of my own prison. And the world around her is beautiful, but you can't even see that. You can't even enjoy it because you're behind your own bars and you can't even feel the beauty because you're trapped. There were days where I sat in this prison and couldn't get out. There were days when the only thoughts in my head was, how can I not be here? So if you're going through that, if you've felt this, I see you. And what I would encourage you is to not give up, not give in to those voices, because there's going to be a day when you get to look back on this and those days will be behind you. This is called Light at the End of the Tunnel. I feel for years that I was consumed with the darkness. And when I attempted suicide, that darkness really had a hold of me. And I'm so grateful that there was a bright light that said it's not my time yet and allowed me to come back, because there's so much that I would have missed out on. And she's in darkness. She doesn't feel anything else than the dark, but there's so much going on around her. And My story wasn't over and your story isn't over either. So that's why I created this, because there is always a light in that dark tunnel. I love phoenixes so much because to me it's a rebirth. So rising out of the ashes. I've literally hit rock bottom. I've literally experienced so much darkness. So the phoenix represents me coming out of that darkness, rebuilding, redefining, and rising up. And so I see so much beauty in this. And I encourage everyone to look and build and let go of the darkness and step into whatever their rebirth is. Sunflowers are my favorite. I love how they seek the light. And for me, this sunflower represents hope and new beginnings and transitions and all the things that you can become. It almost is bursting off the page because it's so big. And I feel like that is just a representation of how full of life and big I am now. And I hope you see this as encouragement, as, you can get here, because I never thought that I would be here, but so grateful for where I am. One of the things that I used to do is think that I was too much for people. So I excluded myself and did not ask for help. But the people who care about you, they would rather talk to you now than be at your funeral. I know it's hard to ask for help, and I know it's scary, but you deserve people who show up for you. Sometimes we just need to know that someone cares. You're not too much. Your story is not too much. You matter. And I just want you to know that the darkness does not win. It's not in charge. And I still have bad days, but those days are way fewer than they used to be. And that is still a win. I've learned that I don't need to shrink myself to fit into places. It's okay to be full of life. It's okay to be a big personality. It's okay to have a lot to say and a lot to give and a lot of love to share. The world needs all kinds, and that includes you.